Hi, welcome back to our second half of our Brownie Cybersecurity Basics batch. So last time we talked about how we use information technology in our everyday lives. We explored layers of security. We talked about what cybersecurity means, what information technology is, and how to keep ourselves safe while we're using the internet. So with a username and a password. So for this next activity, we're going to be learning about packets. So you have a job. Your job is to go get 2 small pieces of paper, not too big, just about this big or so. And you're gonna write a message. That message can be about 5 or 6 words. So hold on to it for just a second, but don't write yet, okay? So we keep a lot of information on our computer. And when you download a music file or you send an email, that's all stored on your computer. And those are examples of your information. In the computer world, security means protecting your information from people who don't have permission to take it. So one way to protect yourself is by using a password. A password, like we talked about last time, is that secret word or a secret phrase that allows you to use the computer, your cell phone, your tablet, or a special website, and it doesn't let anybody else use your account on that website. So today we're going to talk about how messages are passed from computer to computer. We're going to learn a little bit more about safety rules, just like we did the last time, and then we're going to play some games. So what we're going to do is take your message and you're going to write it on those 2 pieces of paper. I'll show you mine as an example. My first one says, I love being, and my second one says, a Girl Scout. So I'm going to take these 2 messages and I'm going to pass them over to my friend, and you can do the same thing. You can show it to a friend of yours if you're doing a troop meeting online. You can show it to a brother, sister, friend, grandma, whoever's at your house with you. So go ahead and show them. And I want you to think about whether or not you should put it in the right order. If you just hand those 2 pieces of paper to them and see if they can figure it out. Were they able to figure it out right away, or did they have to have some help putting it in order? I know that's kind of tough sometimes. Do you think that it would have been easier if you had a number on each page so they knew what order it goes? But it's kind of how it works on the internet. So packets each have a number so that the receiving computer knows how to put them into the right order. So our next step is going to be super fun. You can decide. We're going to be talking about cybersecurity safety. So you can decide if you want to make some posters, if you want to put on a play, if you want to write a book, you decide. Okay, so I'm going to give you some of the tools that you can use with you. So our first step that we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about 3 super important rules about cyber safety. First rule, don't talk to strangers. Now this one is a really important rule in your everyday life and a really important rule on the internet. Our second rule, stop and think about your actions. What do you think that means? I think in real life and on the internet, stopping and thinking about your actions is super important, right? You stop and think before you run across the street. Stop and think before you talk to a stranger. So it would apply to the same thing on the internet. Stop and think before you type something that might not be very nice about somebody else. Maybe stop and think before you share your private information with somebody on the internet. And rule number 3, which is super important in real life and on the internet, don't believe everything you see or everything that people tell you. I know this is kind of hard to understand a little bit, but let me give you some examples. Something that might look real, but it might not be. Could be like a fake diamond. Maybe it's just a piece of glass, but somebody says it's real and they want to charge you a lot of money for it. Or maybe somebody says that you can use a game on the internet for free, but you have to give us your information, like your name and your address. It could be a way to get you to buy something else. Or maybe it's free, but you have to put in your credit card information and then you get charged for using all of the extras that the game has to offer. So, what do you think you should do? Do you want to make a poster? Do you want to write a song? Or maybe do a play about how to follow those safety rules? One thing you could do too is you could take those posters once you can go back to school, or maybe you can hang them around your house or the library when you can go back to the library, and Share those safety rules with everybody at your school or at your house. You want to make sure that we're not talking to strangers, that we're stopping and thinking about our actions, and that we're making sure that we do our research before we trust everything that we see and everything that we hear. So, did you decide what you wanted to do? Now, the best part about this is that you can pick and choose what your play looks like. You can pick and choose what you put on those posters. Do you want to draw a picture? Do you want to tell a story? You get to choose. This is the best part. I love being so creative online. Okay. So, here are a couple of things that we can do for our next activity. We're going to be playing an internet relay game, and we'll have some information about how to get the pieces for our internet relay. You can find them on our Girl Scouts Heart of Michigan Pinterest page under Brownie Cybersecurity. So there's going to be a list of 3 different categories. It's pieces of paper, it's like strips of paper that you can cut out, and they're under 3 categories: security, speed, and message. I'll give you a couple examples right now so that you can play this game with anyone in your house. You can play it with your friends over the internet, or you can play it maybe in the backyard with your family. So we've got 3 categories. Messages are short cyber safety rules. The speed will tell the messenger how to deliver the message, and security will tell the messenger how to handle the message. So for example, if the speed is kind of slow, it might be that you have to walk backwards to deliver your message, or maybe you have to hop on one foot, or maybe your internet is super fast and you have really good speed, so you're gonna sprint as fast as you can to deliver the message. Or maybe your security is really well protected, so the message passes very quickly and quietly. Or maybe your message is not protected, so you have to say your words really loudly out loud. Or maybe it didn't work at all, so then you have to go all the way back to the beginning and try again before you can deliver the message. Have you ever had a movie kind of slow down while you're watching it? Or maybe a game paused while you were in the middle of playing it? That's because there are different ways that information travels from computer to computer. And some of those ways are faster than others. And that's that speed factor we were talking about. Your computer security also makes a difference when you send messages. So some computers have really good security and some don't. And some computers are protected better than others. So when you start, you're the sender. And you're going to pick out one of those messages. Maybe your message is, I love being a Girl Scout. When you deliver that message, you're going to make sure that you're following the speed and the security to make it a really fun kind of a relay game. Some of those messages I think could be really important, like make sure that you're being safe when you're online. Don't share your private information. Only say nice things about people, or don't say mean things. Be considerate when you're using someone else's device. So if mom or dad is letting you borrow your phone, maybe that's not something that we throw up in the air while we're playing it. Or maybe if we're borrowing a tablet from school, we have to make sure we're being safe and using it following the school rules. So congratulations, my friends. You've earned that Brownie Cybersecurity Basics badge. I had so much fun with you today. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.